Out, big niggas out. I'm like all that shit, man. They touching that ground, nigga. When I hit them, they touching that floor.
Don't ask me about Crawford, because that motherfucker ain't in my division.
I want all the smoke. I want smoke with Crawford. There's no other fight out there in the boxing world for Crawford to make.
Jermell Charlo has finally come out of silence, and he's aimed his response directly at the man who once publicly discredited him, Terence Crawford, in a heated and emotional live video. Charlo didn't hold anything back as he threw down a clear challenge to the pound-for-pound superstar, who had previously questioned his legitimacy. This goes far beyond a routine call-out. It represents the peak of a rivalry shaped by years of tension, disrespect, and accusations. Now Charlo is determined to shut down the doubts once and for all and show the boxing world exactly who he is and what he stands for.
Happening with the boxing world, it was like right after my era with Canelo shit, it was like I started to watch boxing change and shit. I got my little distance, and I thought that it was important for me to just focus strictly on my family and my kids and my life and my future. M's, I got hella M's because I was knocking them niggas out before they was even boxing. They started boxing. All these boxers that early. I'm in the third generation of boxing. Right? I was fighting when Mayweather was fighting. I was fighting when De La Hoya was fighting. I fought on Bernard Hopkins on the card. Throw me some motherfucking hearts, because half of you niggas ain't never did that, even if you listening. Y'all gotta remember that. I fought when my coach won, Guzman fought. I fought on his on the card. Come on, man. I remember. I come from a different era in boxing.
Jermell Charlo has once again turned his focus toward Terence Crawford, the fighter widely regarded as the pound-for-pound best in boxing this time. Though it wasn't the usual fiery challenge that grabbed attention, it was his approach. Charlo spoke in a noticeably calmer and more respectful tone, describing a potential clash with Crawford as an honor rather than a confrontation. He also showed an uncommon level of humility, openly admitting that Crawford has achieved something he himself has not: the undisputed status, a clear acknowledgement of Crawford's place in boxing history.
I want smoke with Crawford. I want all the smoke. Give me the best shit. I'm in shape. I train. My lifestyle is on the move. Everything is great. So why the fuck would I want the best, man? What y'all talking about, dog? I don't got time to be playing with none of these people with these promotionals and all of these shits. I'm with the old school boxing. I'm following all of the Muhammad Ali Act and all that shit. Man, whatever. Y'all want to change shit? Change. If they gave me a offer for Crawford, and me and Crawford, I talked to him one time. I'm excited. I'm so. It'll be an honor to get in the ring with him, not just today, just because of what he done as becoming undisputed. He completed something that I didn't complete, and so being in the ring with Crawford would be amazing. I give him the best fight of today's era. I don't think that there's no other fight out there in the boxing world for Crawford to make right now. The best fight.
At first glance, it sounds like nothing more than one champion extending respect while still calling another fighter out, but beneath the composed and almost polite delivery, there is a much deeper story between them, a long and personal history filled with tension, competitive fire, and unresolved moments that still linger in the background and cannot simply be brushed aside.
I'm slim. I was out of my element. Some people can operate better when they out of their element. I'm not. I know how to be dealt with. But call me Money Mel, bitch, for the rest of this day. I'm fucking Money Mel.
To understand what is unfolding now, you have to revisit one of the lowest points in Jermell Charlo's career. This isn't the first time he brought up Terence Crawford. The initial call-out dates back to September 2023, but the context was completely different. It didn't come from confidence or momentum. It felt more like frustration and emotional release from a fighter who had just been completely broken down. Charlo was standing inside the T-Mobile Arena only moments after suffering a one-sided 12-round defeat against Canelo Alvarez, a performance where he was outboxed and overwhelmed on boxing's biggest stage. And in that raw moment right after the loss, he picked up the microphone and said,
Terence Crawford could be on the radar. I think he already probably been on Twitter, like leverizing it with the internet just to get some clout, some fans in this time, but he's a champion. He's great at what he do. I haven't been beefing, truthfully. He's just feeling himself right now. And he's a top dog. He's moving up in weight. And everybody want to fight the best. 168 is considerably still kind of like not my weight division because it's not as easy to make 168. I have to gain weight and gaining weight when you're working really hard is really tough, you know. You can easily walk around at 168, you know, so I'm definitely not the naturally bigger fighter, so 168 is not my weight division. I think I would have to see.
And what made the moment even more striking was Crawford's presence ringside, watching every round of Charlo's defeat in real time. He saw the entire collapse unfold from close range, and he heard the call-out that followed. But rather than responding with respect or even entertaining the idea of a future fight, Crawford chose a very different route shortly after he turned to social media and publicly questioned Charlo's effort against Canelo Alvarez, going as far as ridiculing the performance in front of the entire boxing audience for everyone to witness. Terence Crawford's problem with Jermell Charlo appears to run deeper than just competition inside the ring. It carries a personal edge to it. During an interview, when he was directly asked whether he simply disliked Charlo, Crawford didn't dodge the question. His response came instantly, and without hesitation he made it clear that he does not like him, offering no softness or diplomatic wording. He then expanded on that sentiment by questioning Charlo's true character, suggesting that the version of himself he shows publicly is not genuine. In Crawford's view, Charlo leans too heavily on a crafted image built for attention, portraying a loud and aggressive persona that Crawford believes is more about entertainment than reality.
Done after that?
Of course, 100%.
What's the thing about Jermell? Oh, I feel like you don't like Jermell.
I don't.
You got respect for Earl, so if you did Earl like that, god damn.
I don't like Jermell for the simple fact that I feel he's a fake individual. I feel Earl is real. I feel he's genuine. I feel like he stand on 10 toes on everything that he say or do. I feel like Jermell is just one of those guys that do a lot for attention. I was cool with Jermell and Jamal and their older brother prior to me moving up in weight. You know, I got messages with he hit me up asking me he gonna pull up in Omaha, and we talking about cars, we talking about all different type of stuff. Once, you know, I moved up in the division, and I understand that they stablemates. He trained with Arrow Coach, and they've been knowing each other for a long time. For him to start bashing me and talking bad about me and saying I'm gonna get knocked out, you know, going out his way to say little slick shit about me, I was just like.
So when Jermell Charlo was confronted with Crawford's comments calling him fake, his response took an unexpected turn. Instead of engaging directly with the criticism, he acted as if he had no idea what was being said, claiming he was unaware of the interviews and insisting he doesn't pay attention to online chatter or media talk. He downplayed any sense of conflict and even suggested there was no real issue between them, adding that they had once been on good terms and that he was confused about where the tension came from. However, that calm and dismissive attitude didn't hold for long. His tone soon shifted into a more self-assured and almost boastful direction as he began to elevate his own status, describing himself as a superstar operating on another level and questioning why he should even concern himself with someone outside his division. He closed by saying he wasn't looking for problems with anyone, but the overall message felt less like resolution and more like avoidance wrapped in confidence.
In 154, how y'all want him to fight me? I'm telling you, I'm trying to become undisputed right now. How are we talking about somebody that ain't even fought in the division? How do he just jump from there to there? Like what connection do he got to this world? What that tall, lanky motherfucker at? Maybe I'll be the shot caller. Make decisions on who I want to fight next. I'm fighting Dora, go fight somebody else. I don't know. Crawford, go fight. Y'all fight each other. I'm busy. Motherfucker, I'm busy. When he fighting again? Shit. When the fuck is he fighting again? Like, who the fuck he fought last? Like, I don't even know nothing about the kid. Don't ask me about Crawford, because that motherfucker ain't in my division. Like, we talking about a 147 pounder that was a 140 pounder. We need the fucking comfort. I get it. He won the undisputed, right? At 147 and 140. This shit is different when they get down to 147. 147, 154, 160, 68. This shit is different.
What is the thing with you and Terence Crawford? Why he keep calling you out? He don't even fight in your weight class.
Well,
I guess he has plans on moving up to fight in your weight class. But what is it? Is it personal? Is it because it seemed like it's something personal, like he trying to fight everybody in y'all camp?
Right, and that's cool. I think that Terence Crawford could be on the marketing point. He could be using it.
What makes this rivalry even more unexpected is that it didn't begin with hostility, which is why Charlo's statements about not understanding the situation feel questionable from Crawford's perspective. There was a time when things were actually cordial between him and both Jermell Charlo and his twin brother Jermell Charlo. He has described a period where there was mutual respect, open communication, and no signs of conflict. But according to Crawford, that relationship began to change as his own career rose to another level when he moved up in weight and became a real threat to the Charlos and their close circle, including Errol Spence Jr. The atmosphere reportedly shifted. Crawford believes that Jermell started making indirect comments and subtle digs, while also speaking negatively away from the public eye to him. This wasn't just competition politics. It suggested to Crawford that the friendship may not have been as genuine as it once appeared.
Yeah, man.
Is that still real?
He's a groupie. I mean, like,
Talking shit, bud.
I just feel like ever since I moved, and they was cool, you know what I mean? I'm still cool with Jermell. Jermell's still cool people, but Jermell, like, dude just, like, weird. Like, he always angry, he always yelling, he always, you know, doing something off the wall, psycho type stuff.
But what is it between y'all two? How did that happen?
That's what I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
You know, when I moved up in weight, and soon as I called out Spence and my name was being involved in Spence, he acted like that was his fiance or something. You know, he felt as if Earl couldn't speak for herself. He was, Earl Spence to do this, Earl Spence to do that, and you too little, and lions, and...
To push the situation even further into personal territory, Crawford even used his longtime rival to underline what he believes is Charlo's biggest weakness. In the same discussion where he labeled Charlo as fake, he went out of his way to praise Errol Spence Jr., the fighter. He shared one of the most high-profile and physically demanding battles of his career with Crawford, described Spence as authentic and genuine, and that comparison hit even harder when you consider the contrast he was drawing. More respect was given to a former opponent inside the ring than to someone who once claimed friendship outside of it.
Ring walk. I know that's what everybody trying to get the answer to. Them came out with Miss Eminem. That was some bad shit. Like, I ain't gonna front. That's some cool shit. And it's gonna be hard to beat that. He win. That's not my world. We don't get paid for that anyways. But I almost had like Lil Wayne or something. I had some people I've been in contact with. So we shall see.
Crawford could stop anybody. I'm not saying he can't. He's going to, but he can't.
That comparison wasn't accidental. It was a calculated message aimed directly at Jermell Charlo, positioning him as the one who lacked authenticity within their circle. Crawford made his stance unmistakable in his view. Even in the heat of competition, there can still be mutual respect and honesty, as he experienced with Errol Spence Jr. But when it comes to Charlo, he claims the situation is completely different now. This contrast has escalated the real versus fake storyline to a much higher level, and the boxing world is paying close attention as this tension continues to build and unfold.
I want all the smoke. I want smoke with Crawford. There's no other fight out there in the boxing world for Crawford to make right now.
I remember after Jermell Charlo took on Saul Canelo Alvarez, before Terence Crawford did the magnificent beat Saul Canelo Alvarez, right after that, Terence Crawford, he showed his disinterest in fighting Jermell Charlo. But now Jermell Charlo is saying, yo, give me Bud, you know, he deserves it. But my thing is this, Jermell's been out for like 2 years. I think it'd be something that everybody would be salivating over. They would want the fight, but they would definitely want the fight if Jermell comes back and he knocks somebody completely out. He knocks somebody completely out nasty style, then whatever he has to say on the mic calling out Bud Crawford, people will start saying, Bud Crawford, where you at? And if Bud Crawford doesn't take the challenge, people love to jump on Dr. Brown and Pizza.
Unbelievable, man. This Jermell Charlo. I can't believe he's even asking for a fight like that. This is a man who fought, you know, his last fight was Saul Canelo Alvarez was in 2023. And now it's 2025, October 2025, and he's calling out Terence Crawford.
In a recent breakdown, boxing analyst Greg Hackett emphasized that Jermell Charlo is now entering a true do-or-die phase of his career. He explained that the reason this possible matchup carries so much weight is because of how ineffective Charlo looked in his fight against Canelo Alvarez. Hackett was very direct in his assessment, stating that Charlo cannot afford another disappointing showing if he ends up being clearly outclassed by Terence Crawford after already suffering a one-sided defeat to Canelo, then public perception could turn permanently against him. Critics and fans alike may begin to see him as a fighter who simply was not made for the biggest stages and brightest lights.
What time to turkey money? Fucking money is money. Nigga, I don't give a fuck who giving it. I'm not here to fight for y'all. Like, what y'all want me to do and shit. Like, nigga, I'm doing me. Got my career. Fought 38 times. Got wins and losses and knocked a lot of motherfuckers out. And I'm the Kobe Bryant. You heard it? Y'all see it? Of boxing and where I'm at. So what y'all mean?
Plan for the mega fight with you and Crawford?
If we can make it at that weight division, I mean, whatever weight division I'm at, if wherever we still boxing at the same time, let's do it. I'm down to fight any one of these motherfuckers. I ain't here for the money. I'm here to win. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, the money already here, and I got it already, and it's gonna come. More gonna come. But why would I get in the ring over? You know?
This isn't just about money anymore. It's about protecting Jermell Charlo's reputation and what he leaves behind in the sport. The growing tension only raises the stakes even further. Hackett also brought up a moment fans still remember clearly when Terence Crawford was in the middle of dominating Errol Spence Jr. He pointed straight toward Charlo, stared him down, and shouted, "You're next."
Say weight class? Nah, let me get in my weight class. Bro, I'm fighting Canelo next. I don't know what that nigga talking about. I'm undisputed at 154. I already did that.
Which brings us to the present day. Jermell Charlo has not stepped back into the ring since that tough defeat to Canelo Alvarez more than 2 years ago. Now he has returned and insists that his motivation is no longer financial. In his own words, he made it clear he is not here for the money because that is already taken care of. Instead, Charlo says his only focus now is winning and proving himself inside the ring.
The fights that make sense and make money, and the fights that make sense and make money. Virgil, a great fighter. Virgil could fight. Earl, De La Hoya, them got such a stud with them, this and this and that. I see he had some injuries and came back and health issues and this and that. And Virgil, he can go a long way. He got a tough fight with Lubin. Yeah, Lubin ain't no hope. It's just that I'm a legend.
But those statements don't sit comfortably for a lot of fans for several reasons. First, Terence Crawford accomplished what Jermell Charlo could not. He moved up in weight and defeated Canelo Alvarez, the same fighter who had previously dominated Charlo in a one-sided performance. That result elevated Crawford to an even higher level in boxing. While Charlo was left observing from the outside, now he finds himself in a position where he is trying to pursue the very man he once dismissed. To make matters more complicated, there is also no guarantee that Charlo will even get the reaction or opportunity he is hoping for from Crawford or his team.
Thinks he would give Terence Bud Crawford the best fight of today's era. Listen, I'm all for confidence, but let me make this very clear. Jermell Charlo and Terence Bud Crawford would not go over really well. Sure, the build-up process would be funny. Sure, it might be entertaining. But Terence Bud Crawford will put a whooping.
At this point, the discussion is no longer limited to whether Terence Crawford is open to sharing the ring with a fighter he once labeled fake. The conversation has shifted into something much bigger now. The real question being asked is whether Jermell Charlo is genuinely the top-tier threat he claims to be, or even the most dangerous challenge left in Crawford's way as the boxing world continues to debate his standing and relevance in the current landscape.
I think everything. He can hit, he can take a punch, he can move too, he's tall. I think he have everything, but
Terence Crawford already has a long line of contenders waiting for their shot, and that reality makes things look even more difficult for Jermell Charlo. Promoters like Eddie Hearn have also openly raised questions about Charlo's intentions, suggesting that some fighters in these situations may not truly be chasing the toughest challenges, but instead pricing themselves out by demanding inflated figures in hopes of securing one final big payday rather than stepping into a genuinely competitive.
You know, I mean, these guys, they just price themselves out straight away. And they go, oh, no, it's just my worth. It's not your worth, mate. I know the numbers, and if you want the fight, and listen, you'll be very well paid, but if you actually want the fight rather than want
This goes far beyond a simple call-out. It represents a clash of completely different philosophies inside boxing. On one side is Terence Crawford, a fighter who is often defined by discipline, respect, and a belief in keeping things real both inside and outside the ring. On the other side is Jermell Charlo, the same man Crawford has publicly criticized and labeled as inauthentic at his core, framing this as more than just competition, but as a deeper conflict of identity and values between two elite fighters.
Obviously, undisputed is what you want. You're obviously going to be rooting for Jermell to win his fight so that he maintains that That's the specific guy that you would want, or is it just 154?
Yeah, that would be the guy that I want, but you know, if for whatever reason he don't be victorious, you know, I want to go at the guy that beat him. You know, when you look at all the great fighters, they was getting called out by everybody from different weight classes, so it's nothing, you know,
That brings us to the end of today's breakdown. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future uploads. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear what you think, and stay connected for more updates. In the room, the atmosphere shifts. You can feel a different presence. He's just a different kind of person, and Jermell Charlo carries that same kind of intensity. The energy changes completely, and when you're dealing with that kind of dynamic, it makes a potential matchup feel very realistic. In fact, this is the type of fight that can be made, and many believe the chances of it happening are actually quite high.